Thanks for joining me again as we look back at another great classic film. This is now considered one of the best sci-fi films of the 1950s, though at the time of its release it was looked upon less favourably. It relies more on the monster's suggested menace than actual special effects, was produced by an important director and is much loved by a number of contemporary directors. It is The Thing from Another World from 1951. Writers Charles Lederer and Ben Hecht convinced director Howard Hawks to buy the rights to Don A. Stewart's novella Who Goes There after it was published in Astounding Science Fiction. The adaptation was written by Lederer with contributions from Hawks, Hecht and William Faulkner, but has little in common with the novella except for the saucer and its inhabitants crashing near the Arctic Research Station. The addition of no-nonsense military men was consistent with the men of action theme preferred by Hawks. The original script featured the Thing as a shape-shifting creature with blue skin, 3 red eyes, a sucker mouth and stringy hair, but budget restrictions resulted in a simpler-looking alien. It is a humanoid life form with an internal plant-like structure that makes it impervious to bullets, capable of assuming the physical and mental characteristics of any living thing with a need to feed on blood to survive. Early conceptual sketches depict it as a plant-like creature with one limb undergoing transformation into a human hand. Abandoned test footage was shot featuring the creature played by a one-legged man. Makeup artist Lee Greenway took 5 months and 18 sculptures of the creature before he came up with a design that satisfied Howard Hawks. Close-ups of the Thing were removed as it was felt that the makeup could not hold up to close scrutiny. However, the lack of close-ups gave the creature a more mysterious quality. Alaska was originally considered as a location, but more accessible locations in northern Montana were chosen instead. Filming took place in Glacier National Park. Takeoffs and landings were filmed at the Lewistown Municipal Airport, and interiors were shot at a Los Angeles ice storage plant in order to show the actors' breath condensing in the cold. Weather problems in Montana added weeks to the production schedule and pushed the budget from $980,000 to $1.1 million. The famous scene with the crew forming a ring around the flying saucer frozen in the ice was filmed at the Arcao Ranch in the San Fernando Valley, at a time when the temperature was over 37 degrees Celsius. Howard Hawks asked the US Air Force to assist, but they refused, feeling that their cooperation would compromise their position that UFOs didn't exist. Direction was shared between Howard Hawks and Christian Nyby, his former editor, with Hawks providing Nyby with advice and guidance, and with Hawks taking control of some key scenes. James Arness, who was cast as the Thing, complained that his costume made him look like a giant carrot, and regarded his role as so embarrassing that he didn't attend the premiere. Margaret Sheridan, who mysteriously gets top billing, was a protege of Howard Hawks, who was cast as the female lead in Red River a few years earlier, before she fell pregnant. Unusually, no actors are named during the film's dramatic opening sequence that features the title slowly burning through the background, instead being credited at the end of the film. The scene where the alien is set alight and repeatedly doused with kerosene was one of the first full-body fire stunts ever filmed. The film played into a mood of post-Hiroshima skepticism about science and the negative view of scientists who meddled with things that they should probably leave alone. In the end, it was American servicemen and sensible scientists who win the day over the alien invader. Released in April of 1951, by the end of the year it had taken almost $2 million at the box office, more than the day the Earth stood still and When Worlds Collide, making it the year's 46th biggest earner. Reviews at the time of its release were mixed. Bosley Crowther in the New York Times observed, "Mr. Hawks has developed a movie that is generous with thrills and chills. Adults and children can have a lot of old-fashioned movie fun at the Thing." Variety complained that the film lacks genuine entertainment value, and Isaac Asimov thought it was one of the worst movies he'd ever seen. Roger Ebert has said that this film scared him to death, especially the scene where they incinerate the Thing. He felt that the film was based on McCarthyism, playing to the idea communists like victims of the Thing looked, sounded and acted like your best friend, but were infected with a deadly secret. Film critic Nick Shager wrote that reference to a Soviet presence in the North Pole reinforces the Thing's allegorical status as communist other. The film is now considered to be one of the best films of 1951 and one of the greatest science fiction films of the 1950s, with Time magazine naming it as the greatest. In 2001, the US Library of Congress selected the film for preservation in the National Film Registry. It's been included by the AFI amongst their top 100 heart-pounding American films. And directors Ridley Scott, John Frankenheimer, Tobe Hooper and John Carpenter all cited the movie as a key influence, with Carpenter remaking the film in 1982, a more faithful, though initially poorly received adaptation. Carpenter's earlier film, Halloween, from 1978, also paid homage when the protagonist is shown watching The Thing from Another World on television. Lots of great reasons to watch this film. It is a taut drama that plays on our fears of the unknown and the unexpected. It is brilliantly shot in black and white and is more effective because of the sense of claustrophobia associated with being trapped in an Arctic research station at the height of winter, battling the cold and the darkness. So what I suggest you do is that you go to our website, find our virtual screenings page, find the link to this particular film, do click on it and watch it. As always, see what you think. Would always love you to come back, share your thoughts about the film, and let others know if you'd recommend it for them as well. And then we're back in the not too distant future for our next classic films review. See you next time.